Hey, welcome back everybody. If you're new here, my name's Kurt. If you've been following us for a while, thanks for stopping back by. So we've been putting together this choke tube series, and this is part 4 now. So today all we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how I clean the chokes, some things I look for, some of the cleaners I use, some of the tools I use to clean stuff up, and we'll go from there. So I took the barrel off of my A400. I've got the choke in here, and we're going to put this in a vise and get to cleaning. Here we go. So the first thing I've got here is I've got my cable out of my Otis kit. These are really handy little kits. I use rods and stuff too, but I put a mop on here, and I'm going to use some of this MC7 from Shooter's Choice, which is also owned by Otis. But the Shooter's Choice MC7, this is good for copper, lead, carbon fouling, but also wad material. So that's pretty important to get something that's going to work on everything. So this is good stuff for all that. Covers all your bases. Now the reason I shoot a lot of, well, primarily for all my hunting loads, I shoot Boss, which is copper plated. So plus I shoot lead for sporting clays and trap and stuff. So anyways, I'm just going to put just a little bit on here. I'll just feed the cable through here, pull this out. I also made sure that my choke was nice and tight. And all I'm looking to do here is to get some of that cleaner down through the whole barrel. There we go, there's second time. I'll pull it through one more time. Okay, now everything inside there should be nice and coated with that cleaner. So next I'm going to take a bronze brush here, put it on a cleaning rod, and just start running this back and forth. I'll probably run this back and forth about 15-20 times. Now I'm going to put just a little bit more MC7 on this mop, and I'm going to pull this back through probably twice, 2 or 3 times. There's one time. There's another time. There's twice. Okay, there's 3 times. So you can see this mop is just filthy. I like to just take a little shop towel here and just kind of dry this off a little bit. Now I'm going to let this MC7 that's soaking in the barrel and the choke here, I'm going to let that sit in there for about 15 minutes. After about 15 minutes of sitting, I'm going to run this bronze brush back through there, I don't know, 15-20 times or so. We're just going to start scrubbing this again. Now, I like to take my Otis cable here with the adapter here for your plug. This is for 12 gauge. Now these Otis patches here, really, I'm sold on these things. I've been using them for years. They work great. There's holes cut in here. There's 6 holes cut around the patch, so I grab one of those holes, push it through like so, grab my rubber piece, and then I take this and just pinch it and push it through the top of this. Pull it through, and then what that does is creates just a little bit of a skirt here. Now I'm going to use some of this Shooter's Choice. It's a shotgun and choke tube cleaner, and I'm just going to spritz just a little bit here on this patch. So it's all the way around there, and I'm going to pull that through the barrel. And this thing is going to come out filthy. Watch this. That is just nasty. The one thing I like about these patches is you can pull this back apart now, open it up, spin it around, grab a different hole, put your plug back on there, pinch it, push it back through just like the first time. Now we have created another little skirt here, but this side's clean. There we are, filthy again. Kind of wiped out that first patch, so we're still coming out quite dirty. In fact, really dirty. got a lot of rounds through it. Just been out doing a lot of hunting, so put just a little bit more of this cleaner on here. It's getting better, but we're still pretty dirty. So I'm just going to keep rotating and pulling these patches until we start coming out clean. Okay, so I've got a handful of dirty patches here, and now I've got just a dry patch. I'm just going to pull a dry patch through here. I want to make sure that, you know, all the cleaners and stuff that we're putting through here, all that stuff gets pulled out, so you get a nice clean dry bore. So let's run this patch through here and see what it looks like. That's not too bad. Just a tiny bit there, but not bad. We'll pull it through a few more times, just moving this patch around and picking a clean spot. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty good there. So now the inside of the choke tube is nice and clean, but we do need to clean up the outside of the skirt of the choke. So I'm going to take my tool here and just pop this loose. See what it looks like on the outside of the skirt. Now keep your hands on this, don't want it to fall on the floor. The outside of this choke tube is actually quite nice and clean. There's not much on there at all. Little tiny bit of carbon, very small amount, just around the base of the skirt here. That's not bad. And that's pretty common for these Rhino chokes. In my particular, this is an A400 Extreme Plus barrel. I get a really nice seal around this, so that's a bonus. Sometimes you'll see chokes where you'll get a big carbon mark on here, and that's because you don't have a good seat here. It could be a could be a mismachined barrel. It could be you didn't have your choke tight. All kinds of things can happen. But let's clean this. Let's clean the outside of this tube up here real quick. So I like to just take a shop towel here, put a little cleaner spray on it, and just wipe that up, and it comes out really nice and clean. But you can see there was a little bit of carbon on there, but not bad. Plus I've got some anti-seize on there. Next, I like to take one of these little brushes here and just go up inside here and just kind of swirl it around, pull it out. And I take the little short bristle one and I just run this around the threads here, just making sure that all that's nice and clean in there. Now I'm going to go in with a little pick and I'm going to find that shelf that we talked about in the last video, and I'm just going to run this around the edge of that. Now this is a plastic pick. Yeah, I'm not getting much out of there at all. Nice and clean. But there's that shelf right there, and I just put a little pressure that way and just spin that around. Come back in with a brush and just spin it around and kind of work it out. And that's really about all you need to do right there. You can blow this out with some compressed air if it's real dirty or anything, or if you had a lot of carbon fouling that was noticeable on the choke. You could blow this out with some air after you clean it. You could also put some cleaner if you need to. You can put some cleaner in here and scrub it out too. So in this case I didn't need to. Now my favorite lubricant here to put on a choke tube is anti-seize. And it doesn't take much, so down toward the bottom of the threads here, I just put just a little dab. Not much. It's really hard to even see it. There's not much there, and it doesn't take much. Also, if your chokes have ports, these here are actually quite clean, so I'm not worried about them. But you can take a little pipe cleaner and just go through and clean out your little ports here. A lot of that will be determined by, you know, what wads are going through and what types of powders. Some powders are really dirty and some are much cleaner. So we're bottomed out right there. So just like before in the other video, we're just going to take it right there and just a little pop. That's all it takes. now that's nice and seated in there. Everything's nice and clean. If you did see a lot of carbon or anything built up on the outside skirt of the choke here, it's really, really good to just make sure that you're feeling around the bottom of the skirt here, inside and out. And be careful, these things can be a little sharp. Just make sure you're not feeling anything out of the ordinary. No little bumps or catches or anything weird. You know, put your finger in there, spin it just a little bit. Make sure you don't feel like it's an egg shape or anything, which I've seen before. I've seen some chokes that somehow turned out looking like an egg. But you know, these feel nice and true. I don't see any damage on there whatsoever. Good to go. So, but every time you take a choke out, you want to look. And if you ever drop a choke, you really need to inspect it good and make sure that you don't see any damage. I've seen a lot of people drop chokes. I've been one of those people. And when you're out there in the field, you know, or at the shooting range or whatever, you drop it, could be hitting concrete, rocks, gravel, whatever, you can easily damage this. And the last thing you want to do is pull the trigger on a damaged choke. You might be buying yourself a new gun. You know, hopefully nobody gets hurt. That's the biggest thing. So always inspect your chokes. But we're good to go there. So I've got the barrel all cleaned up, the choke's clean, my ports are clean, everything was inspected, everything looks good. I can now finish cleaning the other half of the shotgun and putting this thing back together and getting ready for the next shoot. So the series kind of ends here because this is all about chokes, but we're not done yet. We're going to be doing a huge amount of pattern testing with different choke constrictions, you know, with the outdoor chokes, the Gen 2 chokes, the Elite chokes, just, you know, running different ammos through them, looking at, you know, how does this shot perform at, you know, at 30 yards with this choke, or at 40 yards, and kind of trying to figure out, you know, what choke is good for what situation and what those patterns look like. So lots more coming, so stick around, and thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.